For years, my next guest wanted to find a way to tell her parents' story, and she did on a theatrical stage. It's a story of one of the darkest times in world history. It's a story of the implications of displacement for those facing persecution during the Holocaust. It's a story of the power of a fighting spirit. And as the co-creator and producer of the musical Moses Man explains, it's also a story that connects to our nation's current political climate, from anti-Semitic hatred to the refugee crisis. So what was once a personal story is now one that this Rochester resident wants to personalize for everyone. And she's doing it through a week-long multi-arts event. Joining me now to share more is the brainchild behind this special event, Deborah Haber. And it is so great to have you here. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
So Debbie, as I mentioned, you're the brainchild of this extremely timely event as well, I should say. And I want, just before we kind of dig into it, explain a little bit about the concept behind Finding Home, Shine the Light.
Well, as you mentioned, the start of this whole event began with Moses Man, the musical. About 4 years ago, my partner, Casey Filiacci, and I created a musical to discuss and to bring to a universal audience my parents' story. And so we started out there, and as you mentioned, it's kind of has become a broader project and encompassing a lot of different aspects of art and how art can affect and change people, because it is dealing with emotion. Typically, you know, you see a piece of art and it can change you in some fashion. Hopefully it does. And so as we were thinking about shifting and transitioning Moses Man to incorporate different situations that are happening in the world today, I reached out first to the university, Indiana University. And so we decided to have a symposium, Art and Refugees. And so as that was developing, I wanted to bring it home, because that is where Moses Man started. And so what happened is that I reached out to other artists, to a photographer, to a glass artist, and seeing what their vision and their experiences were with the past. The glass show is actually a little bit about the past, and the photography show is current, what is going on in the world today, and how that both relates to what I'm doing with the musical and bringing it out as a topic and an experience for our community, for discussion, for opening eyes a little bit, for just understanding. A lot of this has to do really with the human compassion, and that's really the basis of this project.
Well, let's take a look. We've got a short video clip, and you will be doing a theatrical presentation of Moses Man, and I wanted just to give viewers a little bit of a taste of what they can expect. So we'll take a look.
Okay.
Moses Man, Finding Home. A true story of hope and courage. A journey of survival through impossible obstacles. To find home and freedom during one of history's darkest times. Finding Home, a true story of then, a journey of now. Join the journey to shine a new light. A journey of then through a gateway to now. Of hope and survival. Of understanding and compassion.
Debbie, what did you learn from your parents' story that you want audiences to reflect on when it comes to our past, when we think of the Holocaust, and also when it comes to our current political climate?
Well, my family story and why we delved into it, and it was as of now, 4-year journey from the beginning to where we are right now. And in the beginning, it was really Holocaust. You know, it was all about the experience of the whole. And then we really looked at what my parents' story was, which was a journey of courage, of survival, of getting through where those obstacles were, how to get through, how to find home, essentially, because their journey was one of 9 years. They were displaced for 9 years, and they traveled from Austria to Italy to Cyprus to Palestine at the time, and then in Africa for 5 years before coming to the United States. And they almost didn't make it many times. And actually, at the very, very last moment of coming to this country, my father was barred to get on that last boat because because of the quotas that were in place. So fortunately, it changed. There was some emergency action on their part, and they were labeled displaced people as opposed to refugees, and that made their difference in coming to the country. So all of this was going on as we were developing, and we're seeing what's happening to the unfortunate people who are displaced right now in the world, and that's where it was.
That's
where
what
it
I
came
want to
from.
talk about.
Yep.
You've drawn this connection between your parents' journey during the Holocaust and the millions of displaced refugees today. Specifically, you've referenced Syrian refugees. Explain just a little bit, so because some viewers may not understand, explain the relevance of that connection.
Okay, well, I'm just going to give you an example. Okay, my parents had a lot of difficulty getting on boats, getting off of boats, being on crowded boats, being in places where it was incredibly dangerous. For instance, the boat going from Cyprus to Palestine was bombed. It was not the boat itself, but surrounding the boat. There were torpedoes, there were submarines, there were all these dangers. Basically, it's danger. And so we look at those photos, we see the photos of today, we see these crowded boats that are being shot, that are being attacked, and where do they go? And that is really the essence. It's like, there's despair, where's the respite, where's home? And that's the center, and that's really the correlation. It's interesting because you mentioned about the presentation that I'll be doing. And I do want to say that what it is as an explanation, multimedia, with narrative, with live actors. And some of the things that we will be expressing is testimony from then and testimony from now. And it's really interesting to see the correlation. And that's what we want to project on this week-long event in Rochester.
So as you mentioned this, you'll be featuring a fine art glass exhibition,
Yes.
and in addition to a photo exhibit by an international photographer.
Yes.
What is it about their work that speaks to you? Because you have this mission, and you said to me last week, you just want to get people talking and to put a human face to this issue.
Absolutely. So I'll talk a little bit about first the photography, and then I'm going to go back to the glass. So the photographer, Charlotte Schmitz, is from Germany, and I found her through a CNN story, actually. And she did photo expose, I think that's how you say that, of the refugees in the camps, and allowed them to write on those photographs their feelings at that moment. So it's like capturing a moment in time for these people, and it's real, and it's then, and it's now. And it's portraying that to us. And so when you see these photos, they are very, very strong. Very simple, but it really gets you in your heart for sure. The glass exhibition, now this is the current. We go back now. How does that relate? The glass exhibition, there's some amazing glass works from international artists, and that's fantastic. It's centered around the feature glass piece, which is called Todesmarche Revisited. That is the Death March. And so this artist, Laura Donifer, drew from her experience, from her father's experience of the death marches. He is also a Holocaust survivor, and it was her expression of people being displaced, persecuted, and unfortunately perished, and displaced. So that is really the correlation between the two exhibitions.
Well, I know that this is something that it's here in Rochester. It will be traveling to Indiana and beyond. And we want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you so
and
much.
Thank you so much for bringing this work not only here locally to your home, but also to around the country. So the week-long multi-arts event, Finding Home, Shine the Light, starts Thursday, March 23rd, and runs through Saturday, April 1st at the Lewis S. Wolk JCC of Greater Rochester and Nazareth College. All the details are posted online at deeparts.org.